Alright, today I'm going to be making a recipe out of this book that my friend Kim from Hancock Homestead and Gardens sent me. I'm going to be making a quick bread called pineapple nut bread. And we'll just kind of go over the ingredients here really quick as I use them. We'll go over them. Okay, so in a bowl you are supposed to combine the sugar, the flour, salt, baking powder, and baking soda. So you need 2 1/4 cups of flour. So how are you all doing today? This has been a busy day for me, but it's been a good day. Got a whole lot going on. There's 2, and now I need 1/4 cup. There's 2 1/4 cups flour, and then to that you need to add 3/4 cup of sugar. And I still have white sugar left over from Christmas, so I'm going to use that up. I usually use organic sugar, which is not hasn't been bleached. So 3/4 cup is 1/2 cup plus 1/4 cup. So I've got my 1/2 cup here, and then my 1/4 cup. So there's 3/4 cup of sugar. And then you need 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. So I've got my teaspoon here. 1 1/2. 3 teaspoons of baking powder. And I try to always use the aluminum-free kind of baking powder. So 3 teaspoons of baking powder. And 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So you mix those all together, and then you kind of set it aside. I like to make these quick breads, sweet breads, and then I use my electric knife and I cut them up and put them in the freezer in individual baggies for my husband. He takes them in his lunch. Okay, so now in another bowl, you need to mix the rest of the ingredients. So we have in here, it says 1 cup prepared bran cereal. Now, I wasn't exactly sure what they meant. I figured they meant like this type of cereal, bran flakes. So I've got bran flakes here, and you put 1 cup of those. I hope that's what they meant. I don't know of any other kind of bran cereal that's prepared. So 1 cup of those bran flakes. And then you add 3/4 cup. It calls for chopped walnuts, but I always use pecans. So 3/4 cup of those. And because I really like nuts, I'll probably just go ahead and do a full cup. don't think that little bit extra is going to hurt anything. And then it calls for a 20-ounce can of crushed pineapple with the juice. So I'm going to get this opened. I got a can opener back here. I have never made this recipe before, but I thought it sounded really good, so I'm giving it a try. So we got the pineapple in there, and then 1 egg. So here I've got an egg. Add that to the mix. I still have white eggs left from Christmas. I got to get those things used up. Eggs last a long time, but still. And then it calls for 3 tablespoons of shortening melted, and this is the shortening I have. And so I'll put that in one of my little Pioneer Woman measuring cups and stick that in the microwave real quick to melt it. And we've got I'm really ready for spring to be here. I've been talking with my dad about the garden, and as you know, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I am not a gardener. I do not have a green thumb at all, but my dad, his health is not great, and so he's going to need a lot of help in the garden. And between him and me and my sister, I think we could probably do a pretty good garden, because my sister, she's really good at weeding, and she kind of likes weeding, and I hate weeding. That's like the worst thing. But I don't mind planting, and I really like harvesting and, you know, canning and all that kind of stuff. And so if my dad and I can work together to get things planted, and Becky works on weeding the garden along with my kids. I'll send my kids out to help her. And then I can harvest and put it up, put the food up, and maybe we'll have a really good garden. Now I only wanted to do just a few things, but my dad, he's like, oh, we can do this, and we can do this, and we can do this. So I don't know what it's going to turn out to be, but it might wind up being a pretty big undertaking. So I'm going to just mix this while that shortening is melting, and that shouldn't take very long in the microwave. So when the shortening's melted, I'll be back. Okay, so the shortening is melted. It's not completely melted, but I think it's melted good enough. I can get this all mixed in well. And another thing I'm looking forward to for the spring is the chores will be easier. And I'm looking forward to summer when I raise chickens again, meat chickens. I had a lot of fun doing that last year. It was a lot of work, but I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of worry too, especially when they were really young, because I was like so afraid I was going to lose some. Okay, so we've got that mixed together. So we have to combine the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. So I'll just throw the flour mixture in there and mix this all up. And then I've got a greased loaf pan here. I just sprayed it with some cooking spray. And when I get this all mixed together, I'm going to add it to the loaf pan, and you bake it at 350 degrees for 1 1/4 hours. So basically I'll put it in for an hour, and then I'll check it when an hour is up. and see if it needs more time. Basically, with these types of breads, it's the test. You test it with a toothpick, and if it comes out clean, then it's done. So let me get this mixed up. I've almost got it pretty well mixed up. Let me get this mixed up, and I'll get it in the pan, and we'll get this in the oven. And when it comes out, I'll show you what it looks like, and once it cools down a bit, I'll do a taste test for you. So yeah, that looks pretty tasty. It smells really good too. It'll probably fill this loaf pan pretty well. I've really been enjoying looking at this book that Kim sent me, and there's several recipes in it that I'm really interested to try. This is the one that really jumped out at me as really sounded delicious. A really delicious bread. And I love quick breads. I like working with yeast breads too, but you know, when you're going to be doing yeast bread, it has to be on a day when you're available. I mean, you can't put yeast dough on to rise and then leave for the day. It just doesn't work. So I don't get to do yeast bread as much as I would want to. I really want to start making my own homemade bread on a more regular basis, but you know, homesteading and taking care of the family and getting back to basics and simplifying your life, it all just takes steps. You can't do it all in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. Alright, there, we've got that in the pan. I'm going to stick this in the oven, and when it's ready to come out, I'll be back. Okay, so there's the pineapple bread. Just came out of the oven a few minutes ago. I'm hoping I can get it out of the loaf pan without it getting all crumbled up, but we'll give that a try. And when it's all cooled down and able to slice, I will give it a taste test for you. Okay, so now it's time to try this pineapple bread that I made today. It's still just a little bit warm, but I think I'll be able to cut it without mutilating it. And I was able to get it out of the pan without any problem, so that was nice. So let's just give this a try. Oh, it looks delicious. Can you see that? Yum, full of nuts and pineapple goodness. So let's give this a try. It's really, really good. It's not overly sweet, but you can definitely taste the pineapple in it. So I want to thank Kim from Hancock Homestead and Gardens for sending me that book. I've really been enjoying it, and I really am loving this recipe. I will leave the recipe in the description box below, so you guys give it a try. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll talk to you later, friends. Bye!